Our story begins with a scary-looking girl asking the MC what he was looking at and asked him why a transfer student like him joined the empty manga club. She also tells him not to talk to her. During the lunch break, he approaches her, but she calls him a friendless loser and simply leaves. Later that day, she finds out that MC is sitting right next to her in their class and asks if it can get any worse. Outside the class, she was playing with a cat and smiling cheerfully. One couldn't recognize that she is the same girl who was so rude to MC earlier that day. She was so happy with the cat that she didn't even notice the MC watching her. As soon as she saw him, she tells him not to tell anyone about this or else he is going to be dead meat. After the school was over, her and the MC had their cleaning duties. She asked him why he was giving her the pitying look and told him that she can do it herself and he can go home if he wants to. That evening they run into each other again, and it turns out that they live right next to each other. She was wearing a cute hoodie and shorts when MC brought her the greeting gift. This was the first time when she wasn't rude to him. She was very shy and told MC to erase his memory of seeing her like that, but MC called her cute, which made her blush a lot. The next morning, they run into each other while going to school. MC greets her, but she tells him that her disappointment is immeasurable and her morning is ruined. After that, she tells him not to talk to her for the rest of that day. While sitting in the cafeteria, some mean girls are talking shit about her, and one of them says that she is ugly, but the other one says that she might tell her BF to loosen her up. MC gets angry after hearing that shit talk, but she tells him that their bitching about her has nothing to do with him. Later that day, she walked out of the restroom all wet and was holding a bucket in her hand. She tells MC that it's getting annoying that they keep running into each other and also warns him to stay away from her. A bully who looks like he has been in this high school for the last 10 years grabs her and starts talking shit to MC. This infuriates the MC and he is ready to throw hands, but she tells him that this has nothing to do with him, so he should leave and go home. Later, she was sobbing and was patching his wounds that he got from fighting the bully. She asked him why he would do that from someone like her and called him a baka. The next morning, he was surprised to see her outside his apartment, but she told him not to be surprised because they live right next to each other. In school, the girls who were talking shit about her yesterday were sobbing and apologizing to her. They told her they were jealous of her because she was popular among guys. She was cool about it and acted as if she doesn't care, but asked the girls to apologize to the MC instead. They asked her if he was her boyfriend, and this made her blush. She started cursing the MC for giving them the wrong idea. Here we find out that her name is Tachibana. At home, she was kicking her feet while on the bed and was thinking about what the girls had said to her earlier that day. She called MC an idiot and told herself that she does not even like him. She hugged her pillow while saying this, and she was blushing a lot. The next day, while going to school, she was carrying MC's bag, and he was staring at her. She was so shy that she couldn't look at him and asked him what he was looking at. Meanwhile, she also decided to talk to their girls from yesterday so that they won't start spreading rumors about them. But when she was in the class, the rumor had already spread, and everybody was talking about them dating each other. She got very embarrassed hearing all this and wanted to go home. During their break, MC approached her and told her about the rumors, but she told him that she is fine and he shouldn't worry about her. She changed the topic and asked the MC why he only eats one food item. He tells her that he's broke and can't afford anything else. Later at home, she was cooking food for MC while denying the fact that it was out of care and consideration for him. While having lunch, she told MC that he should make lunch for himself just like her because it is cheap and takes less time. Back home, she had prepared a second lunchbox for MC. She wanted to give it to him, but simply couldn't. She asked herself, is it normal to make lunch for someone whom you just met? She thought it was creepy and laid on the floor with the lunchbox. Later, her brother came home and asked her what she was doing on the floor, but she told him not to question her and leave her alone. That same evening, she rang MC's doorbell and gave him the food that she made earlier that day. But she lied to him that her mother had made all this food and told her to give it to him because she made a lot. But she told him if he didn't want it, he can throw it away. But if he was hungry, he can have it. Seeing Tachibana in her comfy clothes and her being so shy, MC was too stunned to speak, and it made him sweat a little. The next day, he came to the manga club research to give her the empty lunchbox that she had given him yesterday. MC told her that the sides she gave him yesterday were delicious, and this made her blush. She kept the lie going by telling him that he should thank her mom for the side dishes, not her. But deep down inside, she was really happy, and this made her smile. MC saw her smiling, but she got embarrassed and told him not to look at her. Back at home, she was thanking her mother for teaching her how to cook. Her brother came home and found this situation very weird. Tachibana was reading a rom-com manga in her brother's room. He got annoyed at it and asked her to read it in her own room, but she insisted on staying. Her brother asked her if she had fallen for someone because she keeps acting weird nowadays. She was baffled because she didn't expect her brother to notice it. She asked him, "Is it that obvious?" After that, she buried her head in the pillow and started kicking her feet due to embarrassment. Her brother saw that Tachibana has indeed fallen for someone, and he was happy for his sister. The next day, MC asked Tachibana for her phone number. She got flustered over it, and she asked him what was going through his mind. He politely told her the reason, and she apologized to him for making him wait daily. After that, they exchanged their phone numbers. Back at home, she kept looking at her phone not because it's the new iPhone 16 Ultra Pro Max Plus. It was because she has social skills of a 5-year-old and doesn't know how to start a conversation because she didn't had any friends. But she didn't lost hope and finally sent him a sticker. She gets really excited when MC sends her a reply and she tells it to her brother, but he just tells her to leave his room. The next day, MC thanks her for carrying his bag all these days due to his injuries, but she is so shy that she can't even look at him. But suddenly, she turns around, puts her hand on MC's cheek, and tells him that his wounds are healing very quickly. Back at home, she told her brother about this, but he found it very difficult to believe that she had found someone whom she likes. She denied it and said that if she accepted it, then all sorts of feelings will come rushing out. She said that she won't be able to hold herself back if something like that ever happened. Her mother heard all this and told her that she also wants to meet the boy in her life, but she denies it. She fell onto the sofa, closed her eyes, and processed everything that was happening around her. She told herself that she hates the MC, but later corrects herself saying that she does not really hates him. She couldn't really describe how she felt about him. A few moments later, she opened her eyes and started blushing. She realized that she totally likes him and she is simping for him really hard. Her brother sat there, watched all this, and was wondering what the heck is going on in his household. The next day, she was at the beach with MC and asked him not to look at her too much. But when she took her jacket off, she told him if he wants to look at her, then he shouldn't stare too much because it's embarrassing. After seeing the 2 milk cannons, MC was too stunned to speak, and she asked him if he wasn't going to say something. Bad news for her, because it was all her imagination and she was drawing this scenario on a page for her manga, but she accidentally dropped these pages in the hallway. MC just happened to be passing by and saw her juicy sketches on the floor. She was too embarrassed to be seen with her sketches. She told MC that she would kill him if he told anyone about these sketches. She went home and started crying over this little incident. She called herself an idiot for falling over and spilling the pages everywhere. Now that her secret has been out, she decides to do something very unexpected. The next day, she corners the MC and tells him that she has been working on a rom-com manga. She doesn't understand the normal relationship dynamics. So, for the sake of authenticity, she wants him to be her boyfriend, and she isn't going to take no for an answer. Later, she was so happy that she couldn't believe MC said yes to her. But now there was another problem. She didn't know what to do next because she had never been in a relationship before this. She musters up the courage and decides to text the MC, but it has been 30 minutes and she still hasn't come up with a proper message. After some time, she finally sends him a message and he instantly replies back to her. Seeing this, She instantly buries her head in the sofa, full of excitement and embarrassment. Next day, while going to school, both of them were quiet. But Tachibana was thinking of doing the unholy act of hand-holding. She knew she was going ahead of herself because she can't even strike up a conversation, but she just couldn't help it. Thinking of all the possible scenarios in her head, her cheeks were getting red. MC noticed this and asked her about what they should do now. She was too shy to say anything, but our MC is a practical guy, and he told her they should hold each other's hand because they are pretending to be a couple, and this is the best way for her to gather material for her manga. When she heard the MC say pretend, she was hurt but tried her best not to show him. She toughed it out in front of him and told him he was right, but she definitely took major emotional damage. Later at home, her brother told their mother that her sister has locked herself in the room and she has been crying ever since she came from school. The mother was upset, but she understood that at this age these things are normal. At school, MC approached Tachibana, but she was acting mean and asked him what he wants. He hesitated a bit, but told her that the sketches she made yesterday were amazing. He also told her that if she continues to make sketches like these, then she would become a manga illustrator in no time. He added that he would do anything to support her because he is also a member of the school manga club. She was too embarrassed to speak and asked him, how can he say such things while keeping a straight face? Back at home, she used her last to brain cells and concluded that if they are pretending to be a couple, then it means that they are already together. She was so happy with this discovery and used it as her coping mechanism. MC, like the chat he is, asks Tachibana if she would like to go shopping with him as their fake date. She couldn't believe what he was saying and asked him, isn't it too early for that? She was struggling to make a sentence after she heard the date part, so they decide to take things slow and start by holding hand. During their fake date, she was asking him all sort of questions and told him he is representing all the high school boys across the globe to her. MC panicked and asked her why is she doing this to him. When he asked her why is she hitting him with all the questions, she told him that she doesn't know anything about high school boys. He told her that he isn't anything special and she won't enjoy hearing about his interests. But she kept on pressing him and he gave in. He told her about himself and she was listening very carefully. She was enjoying their conversation, but suddenly she turns around and started blushing. She noticed that she is really into him and they ended their date shortly after that. When she reached home, she couldn't believe that she actually held hands with the MC. She asks herself, what's wrong with me? She decides that, from now on, she isn't going to wash her left hand because this is the hand that MC was holding. That night, she sat right next to her brother and told him, wasn't it time that MC realized that she likes him? Her brother, on the other hand, gave her a reality check and told her that no matter which angle you look at it, she is the one who can't communicate properly to him. He further added that if he was in MC's place, he would have kept his distance from her and wouldn't even touch her. But he also told her that she has a nice face, so it might end up working in her favor. The next day at school, she saw the MC and decided to talk to him. She mustered up the courage and started walking in his direction, but she saw another girl talking to him. The girl asked the MC about his relationship with Tachibana, and he confirmed that it was a fake relationship. She was hurt when MC said that and decided not to talk to him. But when she was going back, she heard the girl saying bad things about her and heard the MC agreeing with her sentiment. That girl was flirting with MC and asked him to leave Tachibana so he can hang out with her instead. Hearing this, Tachibana was hurt and left immediately. Back at home, she was sitting on the sofa. Her brother saw it and knew that something was wrong with her sister's mood. Being a good brother, he asked her if she wants to talk about her troubles. Hearing this, she almost started crying and told him that her first love ended before it even began. Hearing this, her brother, like the chat he is, couldn't care less about it. The following day, she told the MC not to talk to her. He was confused and asked her if something was wrong. She recalled every single thing that the girl from yesterday said about her, and for the first time it looked like she was going to talk like a normal person. Like Lincoln Park, in the end it didn't even matter because she ran away from MC without saying anything and told him to stay away from her. At home, she was crying while lying on the sofa and asked herself why she is always like this. Her brother and mother were worried about her, but suddenly Tachibana's father came home. He asked his wife what was going on. His wife started crying. Meanwhile, his son facepalmed himself and wondered what the heck is going on in here. Next day, when she came back from school, her mother was standing with the MC and asked her if he is the right guy or not. Upon confirmation, she told her that his parents were out of town and he lost his apartment keys, so he'll be staying with them for a few days. MC, being the humble guy he is, told them that they don't need to worry about him and he can stay in a net cafe. But Tachibana's mother interrupted him and told him that they were neighbors, so it was her duty to help him in this tough time. She also added that MC has been taking care of her daughter, so it's the least she can do. Her son was watching all this and told his mother that she really needs to get her personal space system checked because he thinks it's bugged. Meanwhile, he noticed that his sister was frozen like Elsa, and she couldn't believe her eyes right now. After that whole situation, she took a shower to calm herself down. When she came out, she was wearing a crop top and shorts. She told the MC that the bathroom was free and he can take a shower if he wants to. But our guy was too shocked to speak after seeing her like this. She asked what's wrong with him, and he told her that he could see her assets from the clothes she was wearing. Seeing how uncomfortable he was, she started to take off her crop top in front of him. MC got embarrassed and asked her what the heck she was doing. Her brother walked in and told her to stop embarrassing herself in front of him. Later, he told her that she is a totally different person at home. She asked him if he had a problem with it or something, but he got scared and said no. She assured him that she was joking and told him that she acts that way at home because she can be herself here and no one judges her. She told him that she feels like an idiot and she is stubborn. She always says things without even thinking. That is why she wanted to apologize to the MC for her rude behavior towards him. The Chad MC told her that there was no need to apologize and there was no bitterness between them. Tachibana's mother and brother got the front row tickets of the homemade live soap opera, and they were enjoying it very much. The next day, she very awkwardly greeted the MC. She asked him about the shopping date idea that he had proposed a few days earlier and asked him if he was down for that. He remembered it and was instantly ready to execute the date plan. She couldn't believe her ears and was glad that he was ready for the date. As usual, she couldn't speak to him properly after that and told MC that she would drop him a text when she reaches home. Overjoyed with her victory, she told her brother that she had finally done it. She asked him what she should do next, but her brother couldn't care less about it. He kept a straight Sigma face throughout this entire interaction. Suddenly, she found herself in the Delulu land and started wondering what if this date turned into a real date. But her brother was there to give her a reality check. He also told her that she shouldn't get carried away with her emotions because she might end up doing something stupid, and if she did that, the MC might dump her like a garbage bag in the dumpster. She took emotional damage of over 9,000 and asked him, why would he say something like that to her sister? But she went back to her brother and asked him to help her, but he told her to stay away from him. She ran to her mother and asked her about the first date. She had a lot of questions like what she should wear on a first date, how she should act in front of him. Since it was her first date, the tension was very high, but her mother told her that she is cute, so she can always use her looks to her advantage. On the day of their date, he arrived a little early thinking that he would be the first to arrive at the pickup point, but to his surprise, Tachibana was already there. She was looking so kawaii that the MC couldn't even believe that it was the same girl who used to speak so rudely to him. He finally told her that she was looking very cute. This compliment made her blush, but MC thought that he had said something very cliché. After hearing those words, her face turned into a red balloon. MC asked her if she was okay, but she was lost in her own world and couldn't say anything. When they started walking, she was really quiet. MC wondered if she was in a bad mood because of something he said. First, they went to a manga shop and MC noticed that Tachibana was getting less talkative as the date went on. He asked her if she liked the new volume of the rom-com manga that came out. She couldn't speak because she was internally screaming about the fact that they were holding hands like a couple all day long. She started blushing and thought to herself that it was the best thing that could happen to her on this date. On one hand, Tachibana was very proud of herself for putting in the effort for her first date, but on the other hand, MC was thinking that she was mad because they haven't done any couple activities on the date. Tachibana noticed that she hasn't spoken much during their date. It was because she was very happy and nervous at the same time to speak. She was wondering why MC wasn't getting sick of her for acting like this. This was the moment she knew that she genuinely loved the MC and she couldn't deny it any longer. By the end of their date, MC told her that he had a blast and enjoyed every single moment of the date. He also told her that he enjoyed her company. But then in a moment of vulnerability, he told her that he didn't know if he did a good job of playing her boyfriend as it was his first time doing it. Surprisingly, Tachibana held his shirt and told him that she also had a good time with him. She added that there was something that she needed to tell him. She told him that she never understood why he would stick around for someone with attitude like her. She finally said that she was never able to say it before, but she actually wanted him for a long time. She thanked him for putting up with someone like her because it was not easy to deal with her odd behavior. Before she could say anything else, MC, like the chat he is, held her in his arms and told her what's up with the face she was making. She couldn't believe what was going on and got embarrassed. She told him what the heck he was doing. MC told Tachibana that she has always been so hard on herself. Sure, she may have a few clumsy moments, but that did not mean that she wasn't enough. MC told her that she always had a strong sense of responsibility, and he knew that she was a good person despite her awkward behavior. He also told her that a lot of the stuff that happened between them was due to coincidence. But that wasn't enough for him to leave her alone. He also told her that she was bad at hiding her emotions because she had a terrible poker face. He told her that from now on, he wanted to be with her and told her that he loves her. After that, he asked her to go out with him and be his girlfriend. She couldn't believe what was happening and was very happy that MC asked her out, so she instantly said yes. After that emotional roller coaster, things got awkward between them and they couldn't speak to each other because of the embarrassment. Before they even realized it, they were at the entrance of the Tachibana's apartment. But it was clear that both of them wanted to stay together. He wanted to end their date on a high note, but before he could even do anything, Tachibana held his face in her hands and kissed him on the lips. After that kiss, she told the MC that there was still something that she hasn't made clear. She told him that she was very nervous, but she will say it anyways. MC couldn't believe his ears when he heard the words,
"I love you too, a lot,"
from Tachibana's mouth. Before he could respond, she ran to her apartment because she was embarrassed to face him after saying those words. Meanwhile, MC was just standing there because it was cuteness overload for him.
Back at home, she was spaced out, but then suddenly she started giggling with happiness. Her brother couldn't tell what her current mood was, so he looked at his mom and asked, "Is she happy or not?" Since she was smiling, her mother assumed that the date went successful, so she ran towards her and asked if things went well. She told them that her and MC started dating. Suddenly her father came home and asked his son what were they celebrating. He couldn't believe his ears when he heard that. It was about the fact that his daughter was dating the boy living next door. The next day she awkwardly greeted MC. It's because she was still shy about what happened last night. She was so shy that she couldn't even look at him while walking together. MC suddenly grabbed her finger, but when she looked at him, he told her that he will hold her hand till they reach their school. Later, sitting in the class, he was wondering, isn't his girlfriend the cutest thing ever? Looking back at it, he wondered why he couldn't notice the fact that she liked him. Was something wrong with his eyes? She was sitting next to the MC and he thought he should do something for her, since he is her boyfriend now. But when he asked her about it, she told him that he should tone down the love bombing because her heart is already filled with emotions and she can't take it anymore. She told him to give her a break. The next day, when they greeted each other, he noticed that she was wearing a shirt. He asked her where her hoodie was. She told him that it was getting hot, so she decided to wear a shirt. She asked if he had a problem with it, but he told her that he loved it and it looks good on her. While walking to the school, he realized that she isn't as mean as she used to be, and he was happy with this change. That day, she made a bento box for him and MC was over the moon. He couldn't stop complimenting the food, but she told him that it's not a big deal. During their lunch, MC looked at her, but she got embarrassed and told him not to look at her, but she kept stealing glances throughout their lunch. Later at home, her father was standing at the doorstep to greet her, but she got scared and freaked out in terror. His father looked like a devil. He asked her if she really loves her boyfriend. Before she could reply, he told her it's okay and she didn't need to say a word. He asked his daughter how she feels about her boyfriend. She thought about it and told him that she loves her boyfriend. Her father was shocked after hearing her answer, and it looked like as if his life energy was sucked out by someone. He fell to his knees and asked her to bring the boy home next time. The next day, she brought MC to her home and her father greeted him with a cheerful smile, which to be honest looks really terrifying. Her father is 38 years old, but he got hired into a really reputable company at young age. He worked as an HR and throughout the years, he gained an ability to see a person's true nature at a glance. He used his ability on her boyfriend, but his positive aura blew him away. Her boyfriend's aura reminded him of his wife's aura. He was just like her, overwhelmingly positive. He fell down on his knees and asked him to take good care of her daughter. The next day, while going to school, she asked him that isn't she super unfriendly? MC told her that she shouldn't worry about it because they are dating now. She forced a smile on her face and asked the MC if the smile on her face was friendly or not. He told her that she was looking really cute while smiling. After hearing this, she started blushing and became really happy. While in the classroom, other students started to approach her and started telling her that she was really cute and wasn't hard to talk to after all. One of the girls asked her what made her change so much because she turned 180 degrees and is a completely different person now. She tried to explain them that she had a boyfriend now, but she got really embarrassed. Seeing this, all the students in the class were smitten by her. A few days later, they went out for a date and she was wearing tight clothes. She sensed that MC was feeling uncomfortable, so she asked him about it. He asked her, "Isn't this outfit too tight?" But she told him that he was looking at it the wrong way. He told her that, of course, he was going to look at her if she was putting her body in front of him like that. She became sad and asked him if he doesn't like this kind of outfit. He assured her that he indeed likes this kind of an outfit, so she told him that she will wear this sort of outfit often for him. The next day, they were sitting at her home in silence. Turns out her mother left the home saying that she is going to have a cup of tea. Meanwhile, her brother said that he was going to his friend's home. She was feeling hesitant but ended up asking him that if she could come closer to him. When he agreed, she rested her head on his shoulder. Meanwhile, she was blushing all this time with embarrassment. She was enjoying the moment, but then he suddenly grabbed her hand, and it was too much for her to take, so her heart skipped a beat. She knew that he had something on his mind, since he was a boy after all. Also, he was acting different right now compared to his behavior at school. She got the wrong idea and thought it was about her big boo, I mean hearts. He told her that this isn't the reason, but she began explaining to him that her chest size is bigger than her peers, so she gets embarrassed about it. One day while lying down, she realized that she hadn't complimented her boyfriend at all. Instead, all this time he has been the one who complimented her. So the next day, while going to school, she told him it's kind of late for her, but she thinks that he is a really cool guy. He thanked her for the compliment and told her that she looks really cute as well. Hearing this, she lost her composure and asked him why he had to return her soft punch with a straight flush. He thought her reactions were very cute. While heading back, they were talking about the summer vacations. She intentionally bumped into him and told him to be ready because during the summer vacations, she is going to flirt with him a lot more than usual. He was lost at the thought of this and asked her if they were going to flirt more, even more than they had been doing all this time. She got embarrassed and told him not to repeat after her. While sitting in the garden, she told him that she wanted to complete her book during the summer break. She also told him that everyone in their home will be going back to the family house and asked him if that was the case with him as well. He told her that was not the case with him. After hearing that, she asked him to live together in her house during the summer vacations. After hearing those words coming out of her mouth, there were 1,000 thoughts going through MC's head in 1 second. He told her he was okay with it, as long as it won't be troublesome for her. When she heard it, she couldn't believe her ears. She made an awkward face as she couldn't process the mixture of multiple emotions at once. Back at home, she couldn't believe that she was the one who suggested that they should live together. She started panicking. But then someone rang the doorbell. When she opened the door, it was MC. He told her that he couldn't believe when her parents allowed them to live together. He thanked her for having him. She couldn't believe what was going on. Her heart was beating really fast and she wondered what would happen to her if they stayed in her house. Later that same evening, she took a bath and sat right next to him. She was wearing her night clothes and she was looking really cute. She said that he was really well built and asked if she could touch him. She grabbed his arm and started squishing it. She told him that she never knew how to draw a dude, but on the other hand he was barely hanging on. He was wondering why she's putting him through tribulation. They woke up the next morning and she started touching his hair. She told him that he had really nice bad hair. Later, she told MC that she bought a swimsuit because it was summer. She told him that she could not wear it in front of other people because she couldn't muster up the courage. She asked if he would like to see it as a trial run. He was speechless just by the thought of it. He knew this could end badly, but he just couldn't say no. She removed her top and asked him, "How is it?" He told her that it looked really cute on her. Meanwhile, he was struggling to maintain his sanity. After that reaction, she told him that she had bought a bunch of them and asked if he would like to see them as well. Soon, she showed him every single one. Now she was only in her swimsuit. She asked him how were they. Seeing her in so many cute swimsuits, MC was on the verge of death and told her that they were the best. While showing him the swimsuits, her straps came undone, but she recovered in time and stopped her bra from falling down. She told him that she didn't do it on purpose, but MC was already lifeless after seeing those milk factories. He was hanging at the end of the rope on so many different levels. While living with her boyfriend, she realized that he was the kind of guy who remained the same, whether he was in his house or not. At this rate, she will fall in love with him even more, and if it continued she won't be able to control herself. She started acting cute and asked him to spoil her, like they do in the rom-com shows. Bro was fighting for his life, but he went with the flow and spoiled her for the rest of the day. She was enjoying the living together thing a lot more than he was. She was full of confidence and thought that at this rate, she could do anything. Meanwhile, on the other hand, MC was both mentally and physically exhausted. He just couldn't take it anymore. At that exact moment, she thought that she might be able to kiss him tomorrow, but he was thinking of going back home as she was too aggressive. So the next morning, he told her that he wants to stop living together. When she first heard it, she couldn't believe it. She was heartbroken and asked him why he wants to stop living together. He told her that he lives right next door, so he can come whenever he wants. But that statement didn't answer her question. When she pressed him on this matter, he told her that it's because his little Johnny stands up on his own. She asked him, what does that even mean? Before he could answer her, she pushed him and began kissing him aggressively. She began crying and asked him not to go back. This was cuteness overload for MC, and he couldn't handle his little Johnny anymore. He suddenly picked her up and went straight into her bedroom. He threw her on the bed and she started to get embarrassed, but MC was in beast mode, so he started kissing her aggressively. In the end, he just couldn't hold back. He thought he had to tell her parents about it, but that would be weird and awkward to tell them. When he tried to walk, his lower back was hurting really bad from giving all those back shots yesterday. He went into the kitchen and she greeted him while wearing an apron. He asked if she was okay after their last night boom boom session. She told him that everything hurt like hell and he apologized to her. She further added that her body was covered with weird marks. She really didn't know what to say, but it was the same with him after all. She apologized to him for getting carried away and told him that he probably hates her now. He hugged her and told her that he doesn't hate her at all. Soon, her mother and brother came home. She welcomed them back with a smile, but when her mother saw her neck, she knew what was up, so she dragged her into another room. She told her that those bandages were of no help, so she should take her foundation and cover them up. Meanwhile, she asked his brother to keep her father busy. Later that day, her father knew that something had happened to her. He was afraid as this matter might involve some kissing. He was becoming aggressive with every thought of his. He asked his wife if their daughter was running wild, like they used to do back in their days. She was feeling very lonely in her room. Even though he lived right next door to her, she was going to call him, but she thought it would be creepy. She hadn't seen her boyfriend for the last 3 days. She was missing him so much that she could die. Full of enthusiasm, she got up and told herself that, the next time when they meet up, she can't run wild like the last time. Meanwhile, MC was also doing the same thing at his home. They finally met, and they both were very embarrassed to see each other after what they had done that day. He complimented her and told her that she looks cute as usual. During their date, she couldn't say a word because she was feeling really awkward. She felt as if she was about to explode. She suddenly tugged on his shirt and asked him if they could hug for a few moments. When she hugged him, she didn't let him go for 5 minutes. She was about to run wild again, but she ran to the bathroom to control herself. When she came out, she saw 2 of her classmates talking to the MC. They were asking him who was he waiting for. She didn't like that at all. She grabbed his arm out of nowhere and told them that they were in a relationship. She wanted to prove that he belonged to her. She asked if they had a problem with it, but upon seeing this, the girls couldn't stop blushing. When the girls were gone, she was feeling really down and asked him, wasn't she enough for him? MC saw this and realized that she is in the dumps right now. He asked her if he could sit right next to her. While sitting down, he tried to cheer her up and told her that, while living together, she used to sleepwalk, but she told him to forget that about her. He continued and told her that he wants to know her more, and the face that she made that night really makes him happy. He told her to be more open with him. He wanted to see the side of her that no one else had seen, and he would try his best to make it possible. After hearing those affirming words, she apologized to him and started crying. She told him that she is a wishy-washy girl and has no confidence, but she was trying her best to be a good girlfriend. She said she would try her best to make him happy. After hearing those words, he started to blush. She told him that if she could get words of encouragement from him, then she would be really happy. Right then, she told him that she received a message from her parents, and apparently they are going to come home very late. She made an erotic face and asked him what he wanted to do with her. He asked her to go easier on him this time, but again she ended up running wild. One day, she was talking about her boyfriend in front of her brother, but he just couldn't care less. But on the other hand, she was full of passion. Seeing her be so passionate reminded him of their childhood. She was always there to protect him, and maybe that's the reason she was socially awkward. He told her that she has been through a lot, and since she is in a good place now, this makes him happy for her. Hearing those words coming from her brother's mouth meant a lot to her, so she decided to hug him, but he was having no part of this. Later, when she sat down to work, she realized that she hadn't done any work and she was wasting time. But now that she understands concepts like romance, it would be much easier for her to complete her work. The next time they met, she told him that after the summer vacations, she wants to tell everyone that they are dating. But when he brought up the topic of being a fake couple, she got angry and told him that she wants to drop the fake part from their relationship. She wants everyone to know that they are dating because she loves him a lot. But when he told her that everyone in their class knows about them, this threw her off guard. One day, her mother told her that they used to be very similar to her and her boyfriend. She wasn't interested in her mother's love story, but she told her that they got married while they were in high school. The point was that she wanted her daughter to think about marriage as well. But compared to her mother, she told her daughter that she was way more aggressive. This made her blush because of the embarrassment, and she ran to her room. While lying on the bed, she was thinking about marriage, and then eventually fell asleep. In her dream, she saw that MC return home after a long day at work, and like a good wife, she was welcoming him. After waking up, she couldn't believe that she was dreaming about marriage, but she decided to use it as a plot in her book. She couldn't sleep after that because she was going wild in her dreams as well. The next day, her brother asked her about those dark circles. She told him that happiness has a price, and she paid it with sleep. Thinking about the marriage, they will probably go their separate ways after this year, and she got very anxious after this thought. This meant that they were going to be in a long-distance relationship. After seeing him almost every day, it would be very difficult for her. The next day, she was tightly grabbing his arm, and he was wondering what was wrong with her today. A few days later, she was visiting a book publisher. After reading her book, he praised her work, but there were some criticisms as well. He told her that, for a modern-day rom-com book, the flirting scenes seemed to be a bit over the top. When he asked her how she was able to deeply explore and simplify the complex topic of romance, she started blushing. This was when he realized that she was actually living in a rom-com plot herself. He then told her that he needed an editor. Later she told MC that she wanted to become a manga artist, and he thought it was pretty awesome. She told him about her fear that they are probably going on different paths and will most likely end up as one of those long-distance couples. But he assured her that they will figure it out and make it work somehow. After hearing those affirming words, she thought that her boyfriend was the coolest guy in the world and started crying. Back at home, she was thinking about their future and she started kicking her feet in the air. Her brother saw this and thought that it would be really rough for her boyfriend to handle her. After the summer vacations while going to school, she asked him how he felt about her, for real. She told him that, not too long ago she had the chance of looking at her through an objective lens. That's what she was talking about. After hearing that, he told her to stop saying stuff like that, and for that reason, he won't let go her hand for today. MC is a man of his words, so he didn't let go her hand for the entire day. When she entered the classroom, all eyes were on her. One of the girls in the class asked her if she was embarrassed of coming to the classroom with her boyfriend. She told this to MC and was wondering how she's supposed to deal with everyone after that embarrassing moment. The next morning when they met, he looked at her for quite a while. She asked him what was the matter. He told her that the new parka looked really good on her. After hearing that compliment, she started blushing and told him to calm the love bombing down. One night, her father came back home, but this time he brought his daughter's boyfriend with him as well, and by the looks of it, both of them were drunk. Under the influence, he proposed the idea that, after graduation, they should live together. Hearing this from her father's mouth, she got embarrassed and told him to give her a break. MC told her that he was ready to do it because he really loved her and would do anything for her. Later, while sitting with her brother, she told him the whole situation and asked him for his advice. Her brother, on the other hand, was surprisingly chill and told her to do whatever she wants because at the end of the day, she would be fine. While taking a bath, she was thinking about her boyfriend and she thought that he is a really good person. She was hyping herself up because, this time she will surely tell him that she loves him. The next day, while sitting together, she mustered up the courage and told him that she loves him. But after saying those words out loud, she got embarrassed and started blushing. She tried to explain herself that this wasn't any teenage confession, this was how she felt about him. After hearing about her feelings, MC held her shoulders tightly and planted a kiss on her soft lips. She told him to stop playing games because she was serious this time. She told him that this is real talk. Does he really want to be with her? Because there might be someone better than her out there for him. She told him that she wants to experience everything with him, and if he didn't choose her, she'll be really sad, but she promised that she will make him happy. Hearing this, MC made a confession and told her that he wants to date her with the intention of marrying her one day. Later that same day, they went to her house and made their goals clear in front of her family. After hearing this, their family had mixed reactions. Her father shocked, her mother was really excited, and her brother just gave them a thumbs up. He thought that meeting her was a miraculous encounter that took his world by storm. To him, everything up until this point felt like a dream. Finally, the day of their marriage came about, and they both were really happy. Her family and their classmates were crying tears of joy after seeing them be together through thick and thin. In the end, they exchanged their vows and she told him that, now and forever, no matter what, she will always love him.